The Pajama Mama. The adventures of a mompreneur making money online in her PJs. This show is for moms and dads who want to create a successful online biz that will allow them to fire their boss and hire their kids. Ilan Bomani has had numerous successes in various online businesses where she's been a 6 to 7 figure earner. She has appeared in the Louise Hay movie, National Enquirer, Huffington Post, Essence, Jet, Black Enterprise Magazine, The Talk TV show, and even got a phone call from Oprah. And now, here's your host, Ilan Bomani.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming to the Pajama Mama TV show. I'm Ilan Bomani, and today's guest is none other than Reed Foreign, and I can't wait to share his story. But what's funny about Reed, the story goes like this. I didn't know he was a dad. He looks so young, doesn't he? I thought he was a kid himself. And then I happened to be reading one of his Facebook posts, and he was mentioning his 7-year-old son. And I'm like, 7? Are you kidding me? And then he told me he has 2. Okay, so I tell you right now, it's going to be a pleasure chatting with him and finding out more information about how successful he is as a dadpreneur. And that's another aspect of Reed that's really interesting, is that he is a product creator. And if you know anything about internet marketing, one of the fastest and quickest ways to really build a list is to create a product. Especially in your field of interest like internet marketing. And so with that said, I'm not going to give away all the top secrets because I don't know them. I'm trying to be like him when I grow up. He has over, I think, consecutively 10 or 11 WSOs. Now I'm going to let him explain the details of as far as that is concerned. But let's just say he's a pro at it. And so you're going to find out more information about that. But more importantly, we're going to begin by asking Reed a real important question. What made you become a dadpreneur?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur before I was a dad. I started marketing online when I was 13. So it was back in 99 when I started. I'll be 30 this year. So I've been doing internet marketing for a long time in different markets. And now I'm in the internet marketing niche because I've always been attracted to it. I've made money in this niche over the years and stuff like that. And I was like, well, now I can teach stuff that I've done and share my knowledge with other people and help them get started with it. I first started getting into it, and back in '99 there was a thing called All Advantage, and you got paid to surf the internet. And so it was kind of an MLM type opportunity. You had basically a banner ad on your screen. You got 50 cents an hour for every hour you were on, and then 10 cents an hour for everyone you referred. So I referred a bunch of college kids. I tried to get a bunch of high school kids to sign up under me because we had computers in school at our desks all the time. I went to a very unique school where we worked on our own projects instead of being taught what to do. We got to explore our own interests, and we kind of did everything project-based, kind of self-directed learning. And so most of my projects were entrepreneurial and making money and internet-related and things like that. So I tried to get the high school kids signed up, and I got a bunch of college kids signed up. Then I went on from there and learned a little bit about internet marketing. So I delved into like some multi-level marketing and eBay and Amazon and all that kind of stuff, and then stumbled on affiliate marketing. And then eventually I figured, I should do this joint venture thing because, I knew the power of an email list, and I brokered some JV deals with people, and then I started building my own list, and then started speaking at events and started creating my own products and winning, affiliate competitions, and, the rest is history. And then I've been in other markets too. So for instance, I did a lot of like AdSense arbitrage about 10 years ago. And so, as a teenager, I was doing, like $1,000 a day just on AdSense, just passive income. That was awesome. It's like I didn't have to do anything. I'd be out partying with my friends all the time, and all this money kept coming in. It was great. And then I had a very successful financial website. It was a stock market kind of training website and a chat and forum and all that kind of stuff. And that did really well. And, delved into other opportunities, other interests, and then kind of came full circle and decided, well, I can teach this now. I've had success in it in other areas, and, I can share my knowledge. And here we are today.
Wow. And so being a dadpreneur, what are the pros? Like you said, first, you were single, and then the kids came along, etc. So what are the pros? How would you help, navigate some dadpreneurs or wannabe dadpreneurs out there to get into doing what you're doing?
Well, so for instance, both my kids, they're from 2 previous relationships. So the first one, he was born in 2008. and we were real young. I was like 22, and she was like 18, and so we went together. We went to prom together, and then we dated for a while, and Zachary came. And so the nice thing about that I believe about being a dad, especially a dad entrepreneur, is I set my own hours. I have a very fluid schedule. I can do kind of whatever I want to do. I'm still in my pajamas right now. It's almost 10:30 in the morning,
Right.
And I can do whatever. For instance, he'll have like a school concert or something. I can just show up and get there, even though we live about an hour and a half away. I can still get there, take off all the time I need, pretty much, unless I've got like a scheduled event or webinar or something like that. I can pretty much be there for anything. There's been times where I've had to. There was in fact a time where his mom and stepdad had to work, and so I came there to watch him and his other brother and his sister, while they had to go work, because I had the flexibility to do that. And there's been other, we get along great, so we do a lot of things together as a family and stuff like that, and so that's wonderful. Then so I see him every other weekend, and basically what I try to do is kind of not do a whole lot of work stuff when I have them that weekend. Although, like for instance, this weekend I had a product launch. But when I have a product launch, I'm pretty laid back about it. I've done it so many times that it doesn't really bother me. The reason for that Facebook post is he saw me actually on my computer for once around him, and he's like, I was checking stats. He's like, "That's how much money you make?" He was blown away because
I love it.
He knows I have a business. He knows I do something on the internet, but he doesn't quite get it. He's incredibly bright. I mean, he's in advanced math, advanced reading. They take him out to do Spanish in a very small group setting. So he's taken out of the classroom all the time to be in all the higher ed levels for everything. He's read like all the books they have in school and everything already, and he's first grader. So it's like, I don't know what to do. He's very gifted. And so, he saw me actually working for once, around him, and he was just shocked because his mom's a nurse and his stepdad is a mechanic. I mean, they both make good money, but it's not internet marketing money.
Right.
It's like we can make in a day what they can make, in a month, for instance.
Right.
And so he's just blown away. And so he was like, "That's how much money you make? Well, that beats any job I know about."
He's smart too.
Okay, I guess maybe we'll start exploring this interest, and I haven't really decided to push my kids into it. I figure let them just explore their own interests. I started at 13, so in some regards, I'm grateful that I started so young because I feel like I have a very cushy lifestyle compared to most people.
Right.
In other regards, I'm like, there's some stuff I kind of missed out on as a kid. I think, focusing so much on business so early on, because I was always trying to sell stuff to my friends or the neighbors or anyone, I would just sell things, and it didn't bother me. I loved doing it. And, in some regards, I think some people thought that was very weird that I would do that. I mean, I would sell like my Smarties candy, the individual pieces of it for like 10 cents each. I would get a
entrepreneur spirit.
I would get a cheeseburger at lunch. And I'd have like the pickles on it. I didn't really care for them. I'd sell those to my friends for 50 cents a slice.
I love it.
I would get like a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. I would sell each individual bottle, so it'd be like a 24-ounce bottle. I'd sell that for $1 or a lunch ticket, and a lunch ticket, I think at the time was maybe $1.25 or $1.50, somewhere around there.
Right.
So I was getting good money there, and I also controlled the pop machine at school, so I controlled the supply and demand because I was on student senate, and I was like, yeah, I'll take care of the pop machine. I made sure that it was Mountain Dew was never completely full, even though we had 2 things of Mountain Dew. I don't know why I always put in half as much, but it helped me make more sales. And then eventually I got caught at school, and they told me I couldn't do that anymore. But I did that from 7th through 12th grade, and they eventually caught me in my senior year, like the last month. They're like, "You can't do it." I'm like, "I've been doing this the whole time."
Right.
I would do it in front of the staff. They didn't. Whatever. Something irritated someone, I guess, on it. So I think that's great. And I think, instilling an entrepreneurial spirit is something I would like to do, but I want them to explore their own interests.
Right.
My other son, he's almost 5. His name's Connor, and he lives in London with my ex-wife. And so he'll come over here in August, and we'll do all sorts of fun stuff together. and we also Skype 3 times a week. And now our schedules are so different because we're 6 hours apart.
That's true.
That I don't think I could really work a regular job. So she's a teacher over there, and he's going to preschool now, and it's really hard to figure out our schedule. It's getting a little bit better now that they have more regiment in their life, that they're in school during the day. But prior to him being in school, when she was kind of like working part-time, it could be in the morning, it could be late at night, it could be in the afternoon. There's no way I could have worked a regular job. Plus, with him coming here for a month in August, what kind of employment would let me take off for a whole month? I have no employment history. I've never worked a job. I've never applied for a job. I've never done a resume. I didn't go to school.
Really?
I have to make internet marketing. It's like I have to make something work. It doesn't have to be internet marketing. It could be whatever.
Right.
But I've completely kind of, I guess, burned those bridges, if you will, to force me to succeed. Because I knew that if I didn't, I would just rest on my laurels and I would get a regular job and be content with it. And that's not what I want. I'm not necessarily about, let's make millions or billions of dollars. I don't really care. I want to be, comfortable and be able to spend time with my kids and spend time with my family and do unique activities and things like that. I don't need the sports car. I don't need the, swimming pool in my house. I don't care. It's like, I travel all the time. The hotels I stay in have all those amenities. It doesn't matter. I'm always on the road or I'm with my family. So it's, my neighbors are like, so where are you going this weekend?
Right.
I mean, we were just, we were in Vegas just like a week or so ago.
That's true.
I took a bunch of notes there. I mean, that's rare. Usually I'm at an event, I'm out networking or I'm partying. I actually worked that weekend. So it was bizarre.
That is just awesome. And I really like you sharing a realistic view, because everybody has gotten the hype about the laptop lifestyle, and you see them on the beach, you see them, in the big gigantic mansion home, or you see them driving around in an expensive Ferrari car. But I think like you and me can concur, I didn't want to become wealthy for the sake of becoming wealthy. I just want to be able to stay home and raise my kids. But unfortunately today that's a luxury. And it costs to be able to do that. And it's so glad to hear your story, because like I said, I need people to fully understand that there are average everyday people just like you that truly just want to make a living at doing internet marketing. And the success of it, the perks, the rich aspect of it is that we have the freedom of time to do with it what we will. I mean, it can't get any rich than that. Would you concur?
Yeah, let me back up here and further elaborate on that. So I was very lucky. My parents are still together. Okay. They've been married like 40 years or so. And my dad lost his job when I was about 6. So it was the first day of kindergarten. So he's a scientist for the government. Okay. And so I guess the funding ran out for his project or something, and they let him go. And so I started out my first year of school, our income source died. There was no money coming in. And he was out of work for 13 months before he found a comparable type job. Right. And then my mom was, still a stay-at-home mom, pretty much my whole life. She used to work for the post office before I was born. Then she quit her job when she was pregnant with me. And then, they lived on savings for like that 13 months and racked up a ton of credit card debt. But during that time, they developed a lot of interest in self-improvement, personal development, and they bought various, make money type courses. I mean, this was like 91, 92, 92. Yeah, my sister was born in 91, so 92. Because my parents kept me home we were born 5.5 years apart to the day. So she was born during Blizzard, Halloween Blizzard of 91. So if you've seen the Perfect Storm movie, that's that same time period when that happened. Anyways, I digress. So my parents held me back a year, and so I got to, hang out with my sister and stuff like that. And, they struggled financially for that year. So we were, buying clothes at like thrift shops and, getting, some food and assistance from other people we knew and stuff like that. And, it was just kind of difficult. So that set me up for, I want to, I can't rely on a job. I can't trust that, a job is there.
Wow, that's important.
So that really motivated. I mean, like my grandpa was a judge and attorney and a law teacher and stuff like that. And so, he had this very safe, secure type of thing, and he had already retired, and he couldn't quite understand why his son was kind of struggling right now. Why can't he find work and stuff like that? It's like you have high level of education. What's going on? That kind of thing. And so that was obviously they helped and stuff like that. But that was obviously like, well, I guess it doesn't always work. It doesn't keep going. And so that at 6, I'm learning, you can't rely on even the government to take care of you, because my dad was a government employee.
Wow.
And you can't a job, even if you're highly educated, you can't rely on a job to take care of you. And so they started, doing other things. My mom started like a bridal business type thing, so she was making a little bit of money doing that from home.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad eventually got a job up in St. Paul, which is an hour and a half away from us. And so he would commute. He would get up at like 4:30 in the morning, leave 5:30ish, get to work by 7, come home 7 at night, have dinner, go to bed.
Wow.
And so that's how, growing up, that was my dad's lifestyle. And so I didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time with my dad, and I regret that. Now, I mean, he still works now, but he works in the neighboring town. He used to work actually just a block or two away. So that was a big shock, working from a block or two away from home to not working to driving 3 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Big change. Yeah. When I was a little kid, I saw a lot of my dad. And then so my mom, did the bridal business. My dad worked for the state again in a different location. I started going to this Minnesota New Country School, which is a charter school. And that's where we did the project-based learning, because I was kind of bored in regular school, like my firstborn. We're a lot alike. And so we, did a lot of project-based, learned a lot of stuff, had a computer on my desk. So that was a very unique atmosphere to have 7th through 12th grade, all your own stuff, have a computer on your desk, work on whatever, essentially.
Right.
And so that was unique. My sister started going there a few years later, and, the rest is history. My mom started working at the school because she wanted to be closer to her kids, so she was the secretary at the school. And so our mom all the time, because she was bored at home not being with her kids.
Right.
And, that brought in a little extra money for them. And, she doesn't work anymore now that we're out of school. And, my dad still does his stuff. He's like the only, I think there's maybe one other person in the world that does what he does. So he likes to keep doing it. He enjoys it. So it's unique. So he gets to go on a lot of trips and stuff like that and speak at various events. So he enjoys doing that. And, I guess that was a major motivator. Having, I wanted to have the stay-at-home lifestyle that my mom offered, and I wanted to have more security, or at least I felt having multiple streams of income would give me more security than working a job.
Yep.
And so that's what I guess came up with as a child.
Yeah, and that makes a whole lot of sense. What now that you're expounding on your upbringing and your type of lifestyle that you lived, because I don't know if you know this, another person I interviewed shared that the average child spends only 5 hours a week compiling everything that they have to do with the family, because they have to work. Sad to say, mom and dad both have to be at the household today in order to make living wages for the family to survive. I didn't even say thrive, just to make ends meet.
Just to get by,
and so something's got to be compromised, and unfortunately, it's the quality of family life. And
I'm still really close with my family. Whenever I'm home, I pretty much invite them over for dinner. So we live about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from each other, and I pretty much make them dinner several times a week and have them come over.
Nice, cool.
Very close with my family. I'll spend a couple hours a day talking to my mom. I guess some people would call me a mama's boy, but we'll talk about different things and keep up to date with things, and I'll learn about family history and stuff like that, things I didn't know. So I'll learn different stories of things. So it's always fun.
Right. We're bringing the family back home now.
Definitely.
What we do. That's what I'm talking about. I really appreciate that. So now tell me a little bit about your specialty. Because a lot of people are probably interested in getting in the business of creating products. Like I mentioned to the audience earlier today, that one great aspect about product creation is creating a good email list. If you're starting out, particularly in internet marketing, and we know the money's where? In the list. So share a little bit about that and your success.
Sure. Well, I'll backtrack to the beginning for list building here. So I did a project. I went to an event and I met Henry Gold, and Henry's still doing a lot of internet marketing now.
That's
Has a
right,
lot of
Henry Gold.
best selling products. We met because I was doing a lot of like JV brokering for people like Russell Brunson and Mark Joyner when I was a teenager,
Okay.
and so we met at an event in Phoenix, Arizona, put on by Mike Filsame, 2005-ish. And so we met, I think it was like September of '05, and he wanted to do this giveaway event where we'd invite all these product creators to give away a product of theirs during Christmas time. And so we did a Christmas giveaway event. And so it was like 117 Christmas gifts.
Okay.
And we invited, between the two of us, like over 1,000 people to participate. And within 30 days or 60 days, I think it was 30 days, we had around 60,000 people sign up for those gifts. So that was my first taste of email. Now, unfortunately, I didn't set it up where it was like, well, I'll get a copy of the list too. I was just like, oh, just share the money with me. That's fine. I didn't understand the value of an email list at that point.
Right.
So, I think I made like $10,000 or something doing that. It was a taste of success, and, we did a lot of work on that project. And, it was very, first real foray into list building and how profitable it can be. It's like, oh, I really kind of made a mistake there. I should have asked for a copy of that list. But, live and learn. Right. And then about a year later, I decided to do a giveaway event. And so I invited the top 10 people who promoted. I was like, well, those are the people that sent most of the traffic. I'll just invite those people. And so I invited the top 10. It was like 10freegifts.com or something like that, I think that's the name. And it was real just slapped together type thing. I didn't have an automated system for doing the giveaway event or anything because there wasn't the software available to do it. I just had this page. You can download this stuff, and I put a little opt-in box at the top for myself. I was like 3,500 people in 7 days that signed up for my list.
That's nice.
And I had Ken MacArthur had me contribute something about joint ventures to a product of his. He was selling. And so he put that together, and it was like this home study course. And so I sent out an email because I was like, well, I'm in this product. You should buy it. And so I made a bunch of sales. And that was my first super affiliate thing that I won. So this was like 2006. I won like a Skype phone. It probably still works. I have no idea. I haven't used it in a while. But it was like some Skype phone thing. I guess we couldn't do the video call, but we could talk like a cell phone. Okay. And it was pretty cool. It was like, oh sweet, I won something. That's neat. And then make up $1,000 in commissions just for sending out an email, and then promoted some other stuff. Made like kind of like a video sales letter for a project. I did like a 30-minute pitch for like this home study course. I made a bunch of sales on that. It was like, oh cool. It was just like at the kitchen table. Here's like all this stuff you get in this course, and like on this disc they talk about this and this and this, and that was like, didn't know what I was doing, but people stayed to the end and watched this video and bought. They were totally pre-sold on this 30-minute pitch of this kid saying, hey, and I got this value out of this, and this is awesome, and I made a bunch of sales on that. I'm like, okay, that's starting to make sense, and so I started promoting other stuff, and I didn't know that I was like creating bonuses and creating all this value with all these video type pre-selling type things that I was doing, and didn't know. I was just thought, well, that'd be a nice thing to do, and it resonated with people, and so I would place on all these leaderboards, and then I started doing other giveaway events. I did a bunch of giveaway events and started even doing that where I was, people pay me, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for me to do a giveaway event, and we'd both get the leads and split the profits and stuff like that. And
awesome.
So I was getting paid to build my list, and so I was doing giveaway events like every week. So I had like 50 giveaway events in a row that would have like a couple thousand people or 10,000 people come in or 20,000 people come in depending on the event. Okay. And in fact, one of them actually, so Zachary's mom, I launched a giveaway event, and I had to move her from her college dorm room down to her parents because she was done with school. Okay. And I launched it that same day. Like, I hadn't thought that through, that probably wasn't a good idea. But we still brought in like 18,000 subscribers that day from that event, even though I was like 6 hours away from a computer packing stuff up, loading it, and then driving for like 6 hours to get her to her parents' house. You know, and so it's like, that probably wasn't a smart idea, but whatever. And so, I guess with that regard, I see a lot of people do a product launch and they're just really scared and, don't know what to do. And, I'm in a launch right now, and I think you can tell I'm not worried about it. It's running by itself. If we have an issue right now, someone else will take care of it, or I'll take care of it when I get off this thing. It doesn't matter. It's a drop in the bucket. Whatever we do with internet marketing, it's so minuscule compared to like our life and our lifestyle, everything that's really all the potential of things out there, that I don't see why people get so worked up about it. This is fun. This is a hobby. Big deal.
That's true. That is true.
Get so serious about it. No, our customers don't take us as seriously as we take ourselves on this. We're just having fun, and we're creating a lifestyle, and we're creating an environment for our kids and ourselves that is different than what we would have at a traditional environment. And so I think if you take a slightly hobbyist attitude towards it, and maybe don't worry so much, it's pretty stress-free to do internet marketing compared to like what I imagine a regular job must be like. It sounds pretty rough.
So for people to fully understand, because like you said, got 1,800 people and 3,500 people, so people automatically think that's easy to do. But we know that's a major challenge, and not only that, ladies and gentlemen, if basically it's been, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Reed, you're better at this than I am, but it's like if you get 1,800 people emails, that's contributed to like $1. So that's an opportunity to make, like, on average from that email list, like, $1,800 that month. They call it the ATM, if you send out information about other products that you have and that you can offer to them. Is that correct?
Yes. Actually, it was 18,000 people from that.
18,000. Oh, I think you said 1,800. Okay, I'm glad I was wrong.
So yeah, I build pretty big lists. I've got a couple 100,000 on different lists of mine.
Wow.
And then I've done like solo ads and stuff like that, and Facebook ads and other advertising methods, and those are things that I've done really well on. So like I have soloaddirectory.com, which I haven't updated in a few years, but still has thousands of people a month that come to it to look at the reviews I wrote like in 2010, 2011, whatever, and it's 2016 now that we're recording this. So it's, I don't know, you can put stuff out that you want, and you still make money on it and still does well. So I mean, you were talking about $1 per month. Yeah, I mean, some lists are more than others. Obviously, different niche that you're in can be worth more. The way you treat your list, obviously, if you're building a relationship with them, if you're doing webinars, if you're doing interviews like this, that does stuff. You do bonuses. If you send only segmented things out to them, if you promote primarily high-ticket things versus low-ticket things, that'll make a difference in your income. The frequency of mailing, like sometimes you might mail, like some people are afraid to mail. I typically mail a couple times a day, because I've got different segments and stuff like that. So I hit up different segments and I see what's converting the best for that segment, and then I might expand it out to more people on my list, and then that's how I'll win the contest. I'll dabble with a whole bunch of different promotions to different segments, see who's the winner, and then I'll start hitting that one up to a broader stream of people, and that's how I'll place on a contest. Or I'll send paid traffic to it. If it's like, oh, that's converting really well, okay, I'll start sending paid traffic to it and make a whole bunch of stuff. Like, for instance, I promoted Ryan Dice's product a couple years ago, The Machine, and, I beat out people like Frank Kern and Mike Same and stuff like that by sending a bunch of paid traffic. So they made more in sales than me because they hit it real hard and had a great bonus, but I was able to send a whole bunch of leads and won a whole bunch of pre-launch prizes that way. I think I got like $4,000 or $5,000 just in pre-launch prizes. Plus, I placed on their leaderboard with sales and made a whole bunch of sales from the thing, and made several thousand in tens of thousands in commissions and several thousand extra in bonuses. So I mean, it was, I don't know, 50, 60 grand in prizes, or and everything I made off that, 70 grand somewhere in there, off of that promotion. And so that's just from knowing my list, knowing what they want, offering a bonus, and doing paid traffic to it. And you can really ramp things up once you know what you're doing and you have an offer that converts. So I mean, it really depends. There obviously, like, I'm doing a lot of webinars now, and if you get 50, 100, 200 people on a webinar, and you sell, 10% of the room, well, if you have 100 people on, that's 10 sales.
Right.
If you're selling a product for $4,000, and let's say you keep 500 of it, that's $5,000 for what, 90 minutes? 90 minutes of work.
Right.
That's pretty good money.
Yes.
And you can send out the replay if you want. You could do another webinar in a few days. For instance, like Mike from Maine typically will interview me when I do a product launch. And he didn't do it on this one because he was busy, but most of mine he's interviewed me, and then he'll offer like a couple bonuses. And so we'll do like a 20-30 minute interview. He'll throw in some bonuses, and he'll make a ton of sales. And he'll be like first place on the leaderboard like the whole week. Right. Because he builds this awesome relationship with his list by doing these daily interviews with people. And that's something anyone can do. Right. I remember when he started, he wanted to interview me about solo ads in, 2011, 2012. And, I didn't know who he was, didn't have a clue, and, I just got kapooed it. And it's like, oh, everyone wants to interview me on this topic, big deal. It's like, I don't have anything to pitch them. I just had, basically that was just like a website that just blew up because I would put I was keeping track of my own results for myself, and I put it on a website of my own website, and people saw their name with a Google alert, and then they'd oh look, Reed did really well with my thing, and they spread it up on their Facebook or on their Twitter or their email list or whatever, and would share my results, and then other people were like, oh, let's see what other things he's, which other ones he's talking about, and they would comment and share and stuff like that, and so that just spread, even though I wasn't trying to make that popular. It's featured in a ton of products, mentioned all the time for different things. I still haven't updated in years, but it's just interesting how things can kind of take a life of their own, even if you don't try. Right. I didn't try to monetize it. I didn't try to build a list from it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, whatever. Let's just talk about things and see what happens. And I had no intention of that being popular. And so, but like you said, the dollar per lead, it really depends, customer lead or freebie seeker, what the traffic source. But yeah, overall, that is the metric that a lot of us use. I do think there's a little smoke and mirrors there because I do think that is something that people just kind of throw out there. I don't think anyone's ever done a study and been like, well, there's 1 million people interested in internet marketing, and all the they're on 10 different lists, and people make an average of X amount per subscriber. I don't think anyone's ever done a real scientific study on what a subscriber's worth. I've seen things where I saw something where it was some sort of study. It was for every dollar you put into email marketing, you get $43 back return. And so on advertising for building an email list. Now, what I do know, a lot of people will send traffic to something, or they'll buy a lot of traffic and they'll send it to a sales page or to a product. And that traffic's gone, once they get it. They might get 1% of those people to buy. Right. If they're lucky, get 10%. Right. Okay? They're still missing out on 90 to 99% of the people to do things. And it's better to send them to some sort of page, like a squeeze page, where you can get them on your email list, because then you own that person, basically. Right. You have life. As long as they're still subscribed to you, you can send them offers. So, for instance, instead of getting them to click on one thing, you might get them to click on 10, 50, 100 different things, but with them being on your list, and that makes maybe you're spending $1 per click or a couple dollars per click or even less than that. That makes it so much cheaper per click when you figure out, so the average person I get on my list clicks on 25 different links over the course of the next month. And oftentimes they buy 1 or 2 products. Wow. And so you're willing to even lose money up front building your list when you know that, and then you can really grow. If you're willing to either break even or even lose a little bit of money, because the person who spends the most money to acquire the lead, to acquire the customer, is the one that's going to have the biggest business, is going to have the most success from it. See, a lot of people are, I don't want to spend money, I want free traffic, I don't want to invest in anything. It's like, well, that's stupid. Right. You're better off spending some money, going to an event, spending money on traffic, split testing, making your offer better, spending some money on some better copywriting than you are on buying a whole bunch of courses. A lot of people are like, well, if I just got this one more course, it's like, you don't even have you don't even know what niche you're in, number one. You don't have a product. You haven't signed up for any affiliate programs. You haven't built a list. You think this one magic product that you're going to spend another $1,000 on is going to fix everything? No, it's not. You need to have a game plan here, have a real, I'm not saying it has to be real concrete, but just write something on a napkin. I want to be in this niche, and we're going to sell these types of products, and here's how we're going to do it. Is really all you have to do is like, well, I'm going to be in internet marketing. I'm going to build an email list using these methods, and I'm going to sell these types of products to those people.
Awesome.
There you go. You would have more focus if you did that versus, oh, I'm going to start a Shopify store, and I'm going to do a Teespring store, and I hear Google AdSense is great, and I want to do eBay and Amazon. I want affiliate marketing and list building, and I want to create products, and they do that all in one day.
Yeah.
And they fail. It's like, well, that's not going to work.
That's true. That is true.
Let's focus on it for a month, 2 months, 3 months. See what happens. Follow one system, one course. Do everything step by step. Don't just buy 10 different products and be like, well, none of them work. This is all a scam. It's like, I'm sick of those types of emails.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you didn't actually focus. You bought a product and then expected a Ferrari the next day.
Right.
And you didn't do any work. You didn't attempt anything. Or the person who will buy something and then like 5 minutes later want a refund. Well, I got my downloads. I want my money back. And it's like, yeah, okay.
Right.
It's like, you're not going to succeed. Why are you even trying? Why are you wasting my time and your time buying things and not implementing? It doesn't. The idea is not that important. The implementation is what matters. So either you have to implement or you have to hire someone to implement. It could be your kid. It could be a neighbor kid. It could be someone like in the Philippines. It doesn't matter. You just have to implement things. There's tons of ideas out there. There's tons of systems. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's a million things that work on the internet. Just pick one. Pick one you're interested in and try it out. Give it all you can for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. See what happens. Odds are you'll be further along with that than what you would have been buying every single product that came out. I mean, there's probably, 10 different products a day that are launching just on JVZoo and Warrior Plus? Maybe 20. I mean, it's ridiculous how much stuff. There's too much coming out. And so you just got to keep that in mind.
Great advice. Awesome advice. So share with us now the product that you just recently launched. I'm sure our audience wants to hear about that.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to segue onto that now, but we'll try. I just told people not to buy it.
but I'm sure they're
forget
interested.
that last part. And,
You're funny.
so we put together this Facebook cheat sheet, and basically it's aimed at a couple different people. One is the Facebook newbie, because there actually are people that are newbies to Facebook. For instance, my mom does not have a Facebook account. So she doesn't know everything about Facebook. She logs in as my sister just to see what's going on every once in a while. That's funny. Then it's for the person who maybe has a blog or a website, or they create videos about Facebook, or they want to. They can easily click these links to figure out what kind of questions people are asking, so what kind of stuff people want to know about Facebook, or they can find other resources, like they can click on like Amazon and go, oh, here's the top-selling product or top-selling books on Amazon. I'm going to look at the table of contents because, if this product is selling well on Amazon, the table of contents goes into real detail about what people want about Facebook. Well, each of those could be a little blog piece or a little video that you create, and you could be like a Facebook expert then, or you could click on the YouTube link and see the 100 million videos about Facebook that are out there, or you could click on like the 4 Dummies books, and it'll search all 70 or 80 4 Dummies books that mention Facebook in them. And so there's 2,000 or 3,000 results just on their website of content related to step-by-step Facebook training that you could easily model or emulate. So that searches 40 different resources to get all sorts of training, all sorts of free content advice about Facebook. The other person this is great for is the Facebook expert. So someone who's maybe teaching Facebook, or they use Facebook for a living, they can click on these links and kind of keep abreast of the latest changes and news and stuff like that, and what people are saying on social media about Facebook, so they know exactly what's going on about Facebook. So they know everything, that they can share that with their audience. Then the fourth person this is for is the affiliate marketer. So we have a section there where it'll search JVZoo and Nanocast and Warrior Plus, and ClickBank, and a few other networks just with a click of the button. And you can see what kind of products are selling really well about Facebook just doing that. And so, this is a real low price cheat sheet that people can get. It's a one-page document, and then you get, we've got 6 different webinars signed up, that you automatically get registered for with different Facebook internet marketing experts. To share with you a whole bunch of strategies and techniques that are working well for them, and so you can learn their strategies, their systems, and implement their training into what you're doing online.
So in a nutshell, Facebook is not. Unfortunately, a lot of mom and dadpreneurs think that Facebook is just there to chit chat with family, friends, and loved ones. But people are making a lot of money by creating Facebook ads, about their products and services. And they're getting them, they call them dark posts, they're getting them actually in their feed that they think that they're sending out an email. Could you expound on that a little bit so the average person knows nothing about that? I know they thought, wait a minute, you mean I can make money off of Facebook and not just surf it and talk to my family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, there's several different ways to make money on Facebook. So, like, for instance, one of the ways that I made money, for instance, on this launch was I recruited different JV partners of mine using Facebook. So there's people that I know that are friends of mine. I've built a relationship with them. I didn't just like send out messages to random people. I sent out messages to people I knew have some sort of relationship with. They've either promoted me in the past, I promoted them, vice versa, that type of thing. And we've had some sort of rapport going on. We've met at an event. We've talked about something other than business before. I let them know about my launch, and I gave them a heads up. Another thing I did, I've got a Facebook group for my customers. I posted there, I'm looking for 10 people to review my new Facebook cheat sheet. I had a whole bunch of people raise their hands, say, yeah, I want to do that. And so I sent them review copies. That's how I got testimonials from my sales page.
Gotcha.
Even if you didn't have a Facebook group, you could still do that with your friends. Just post on your news feed and say, hey, I've got a new product about XYZ. I really would like a couple people to take a look at it and give me their feedback. And, you might get 2, 3, 20 people, to sign up and say, oh, yeah, just send them a review copy. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many it is. I mean, if you're some sort of big celebrity, it might be, not work. But, if you can get 10 or 20 people that you give them a review copy, you're going to get a few testimonials back, and you put those on your sales page. So, I mean, I think we got maybe 10 or 12 testimonials back, and I maybe handed out 20 or 30 copies. So I know not everyone's going to do it. I didn't even follow up with everyone just because it's like, well, I've got plenty, whatever. And I probably could have got a few more if I would have followed up. But, it's nice for that. So that's one avenue. The other avenue is obviously having some sort of like fan page, and you can build a relationship there, some sort of following. I mean, there's people that, for instance, there's people that post pictures on, Facebook and Instagram that make thousands of dollars just posting a picture up. I mean, it's ridiculous. But it's stupid. I don't get it. What some companies will pay for that. It's not like they're selling anything. It's like, yeah, I use this kind of lipstick, They'll get like 10 grand to take that picture. I'm like, really? I'm in the wrong business, apparently. And so that's another method. Another thing is the Facebook ads, like you talked about. So a couple things that I do with Facebook ads is I did retargeting. So anyone that was already a JV partner of mine, I can show them ads with Facebook. So Facebook has ways where it keeps track of who visits different web pages of yours or people that are on an email list. I exported like an email list of mine and had a little tag on my website, so people that landed on a certain page, so various JV partners that I sent messages to, I could follow up. So I had like a video that I was sitting right here saying, hey, I've got this launch coming up, and you can get 100% commissions. And you should sign
I saw
up.
that video. I was there.
I think you liked that video. I'm
Yes,
pretty
I
sure I
did.
saw your name under the like thing.
Yep.
And, it was like 30 seconds, a minute, something like that. And, I maybe spent $20, $30. I don't know. I could look at my account now if you want and see what I did. And that basically that just showed up like, I think once a day for people for about a week or so before this launch. And it was really targeted because it was only to existing JV partners of mine. I got a lot of people to sign up that way. I did another video ad, and this kind of did like a walkthrough of the whole funnel, and that was maybe 5-6 minutes long. And so it was like, yeah, you can get 100% on this, 100% on that, and by the time it's all done, you make like $126. And we have this contest. You should sign up for it. That's essentially the video. And that got a whole lot of people to sign up and promote. And other than that, I didn't spend any money on advertising this launch. And I mean, we got product of the day. It was my 11th product of the day. I had 10 in a row, and then I had a couple that didn't do as hot. I had one that was like a software partnership that didn't do so well, and then I had another cheat sheet that just like put together like the day before. And we still sold like 400 or 500 copies, because I had a couple people mail, and I didn't give people any heads up. This one I gave people a week and a half, 2 weeks notice. Usually if you give people a longer time span, like for instance, like big name internet marketers, they usually have like 3 months planned out.
Right.
So you can't like tell them like the week before, hey, you got this thing to promote, because I've done that before, and they're like, yeah, I'm booked up till May.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
like, oh, never mind,
Right.
because for better or worse, I still kind of run my business like a hobby. I outsource things and I do some stuff, but my typical day is like I send out an email, I'm done.
Right.
Like, yeah, I've got a little bit more. I can go through what I've done today if you want, and what I plan on doing today. But like the typical day for me is like send out an email, see if my ads and other stuff are still making money.
Gotcha.
So that's about it. The rest of my day, I'm like watching movies, or I'm out with friends, or reading books, or coming up with my latest idea, or I'm playing with my kids, or talking to my son in London, or
Right.
on the phone with my mother, or making dinner,
Right.
whatever. I mean, it's it just shocks. Like, for instance, I took those notes at the event we were at Chris
Right.
Record, and so those were shorter days for an event, because it was like 10 to 7 or something like that each day, or 10 to 5, somewhere around there, which is short for an event. I mean, I know
Right.
you've been to events, and they
Yes.
usually start at like
I liked
8.
it though. I liked it. I
I loved
commended
it. Yeah, it was great starting. I loved that we started later. But like that was the first time I actually maybe the second time I actually stayed in the room the whole time. I actually took notes. Most of the time I'm just kind of like goofing off, and like I'll show up at like 1 in the afternoon, and like I'm out of there by like 5, and I'm doing my own thing, and just hanging out. And it's a nice write off. I mean, I meet a bunch of people and get a bunch of business from it. But like I put more effort and work into like that one weekend than I typically do, in several months.
Right. Wow.
It's a pretty automated business. Once you have stuff going that's converting well, you've got a funnel that does well, you've got your list that still keeps growing, and you send out targeted offers to them. And every once in a while, I'm like, well, I'm bored, I'll do a bike launch. It's like, whatever. I want to get a whole bunch of fresh new leads that are customers, and tie them into a webinar series, and so that'll give me a whole bunch of extra cash.
Gotcha.
And so, I guess I'm odd. I'm very lucky to have that kind of lifestyle. I don't think I work a regular job just because I'm used to this kind of lifestyle.
Right.
I do whatever I want, whenever. It doesn't matter. And I guess good and bad. Obviously, if I was someone that was like, I'm going to get up at 5 in the morning and work till 9 at night or whatever, real hard, I'd probably make more money. One would imagine, but I don't think I'd be in it. I don't think I'd be interested, because my lifestyle would be so different.
Right.
I'm not going to pick on Grant Cardone here, but I'm just going to say, he posted a video, and I think it was like a video ad, and it talked about he flew to 4 different states in one day, and had 10 different meetings, and 6 different cups of coffee, and he was up at 3 in the morning, went to bed at 11. And it was like a day in the life of Grant, and all these people were like, oh, that's so awesome, I want to have a lifestyle like that. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, he makes a lot of money, he's done really well for himself. No way would I want to have that kind of lifestyle. I can't imagine what that would do to your family. The kind of, because they're not going to be able to come with you and attend all these meetings and stuff like that. No, thank you. Yeah, he's made a great name for himself. He does very well. I have nothing bad to say about him. I just thought it was really comical how many people were like, yeah, that's awesome, I want to be like that. I'm like,
right.
Okay, you want to be a slave to your job?
Yeah.
Because essentially, he's got
that's what he created for himself.
He's created a big problem. I'm more of a Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week type of person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's see how little I can do to make this succeed. The minimum effort required, to make it work. Because, for instance, water, boils at 212 degrees. Well, if I do it at 250 degrees, it's still going to boil the same amount.
Right.
It's not, you have to spend all that extra energy to make it boil more. It's still the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
So my girlfriend, she's a math teacher, and she does Avid. So she teaches calculus and statistics and geometry and algebra 2 and stuff like that to high school kids. So she does all the advanced placement type stuff, and then she teaches Avid, which is college readiness. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Okay.
And so she does that as well. And so she's up 5:30 in the morning working, and goes to bed at 10, 11 at night. Still working. And I'm like, hey, she makes good money as a teacher, decent. She's got a master's degree. She's debating about getting her PhD and stuff like that. And if you want to get your PhD, do it. Go for it. I fully support that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do this and then coach the track and cross country teams at the same time, plus teach math, plus do Avid, plus do all this other stuff.
Right.
to have a little bit of a life.
Right, exactly. True.
Live a lot. She's changed a lot, like she's definitely past year and a half we've been dating. She's definitely opened out of her shell a lot and realized that it's not all about work.
Right.
My cousin, his girlfriend, she makes a ton of money. She's an attorney and has a bunch of other businesses, but she's working like 18, 20 hours a day, and then she'll sleep for a couple hours. I mean, she's making millions of dollars a year from all her ventures and stuff like that, but that's all she does. She works, and she works out.
Wow.
No anything else. And it's like, that's not healthy.
Yeah, true.
That's not good.
Very true. So if you learned anything today, from Reed, and that is that you can still make decent income and still have a quality of life to complement what you're experiencing. That's the whole reason why we want to fire our boss and hire our kids, is because of the fact that we'll be able to spend more time with them as opposed to working for somebody else. So we, last but not least, tell us a little bit more about how they can get access to your product, as well as how they can get access to you, because I'm sure they want to learn more information. And please promise me you'll come back, because it's clear that you've mastered email marketing to a science, and also solo ads. And we definitely want to hear Dadpreneur talk about that, because let me ask you one question, because I know we went over time, but what if you had to, one of the key questions is, with all, like you said, there's so much stuff out there. We can learn video marketing, we can learn social media marketing, all these other tasks to make money. But if you had to pick one, since you've been doing this since you were, like you said, 13, so you've been 30, so we're talking about what, how many years is that? Is that what?
Started in 99. It's 2016 now, so 17
years. So 17 years. Okay,
Okay,
good.
sure.
So you're the perfect person to ask this question. For a complete newbie coming in the gate, because now when we started, it wasn't as many options out there. There was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, yada, yada. So if somebody had to start today and wanting to doing internet marketing, where should they begin? My guess, I thought about it, building an email list, but I'll let you expound on it. Where would you think would be the best start?
So first things first, they have to pick their niche. You have to realize.
And when you say niche, what do you mean? They're clueless.
Well, let me back up a little bit. You have to figure out what type of way you want to make money on the internet. I mean, you could be a YouTube star, make millions of dollars a year. You could do, Amazon products, make millions of dollars a year. You could do Facebook advertising or run a big Facebook group or something like that. You could have email marketing, do affiliate marketing. You got to pick a business model. So it could be Shopify, it could be Amazon, it could be promoting digital information products. You got to figure that out. Then you got to figure out, okay, let's say I want to do information products. And then I'm like, okay, what kind of things am I interested in? Do I like, various hobbies, various products that I tend to buy, different things that I'm passionate about, that I'm fired up talking to friends and family about. So some people, they might be really into fitness. And maybe they're somewhat of a fitness expert themselves, or they've lost a lot of weight. They have a story to share. I lost 50 pounds, and I changed my diet and I changed my exercise, and I was so depressed before, now I look great, and blah blah blah. They have something to share and sell automatically, just right there. Even if they don't want to create information products, they're still going to create. People are going to build a rapport with them because they have a story to share, and they have something that they've done that other people want to accomplish. Everyone out there knows something. So everyone listening to this, they know something I don't know. You know something that I would probably spend money on, especially if I was interested in that topic, that I would probably spend money on and hire you, or I'd buy your book or buy your video course or buy whatever, just because you know something. Like maybe you have a really well-behaved dog, I might, if I had a dog, I might want that information back. Or maybe you know how to do something cool with your car, and maybe I want to know how to do that. I would buy that, or you can repair your lawnmower, and maybe I have a problem with my lawnmower, I'll buy that product, and so everyone knows something. Everyone's an expert. We're all educated idiots, if you will. We all know different things. That was actually something like an old guy told me that when I was giving a presentation. He's like, well, we're all educated idiots. He was probably 80 years old and showed up at this event, and we're all educated idiots about something. Everyone has something to share, and that stayed with me my whole life. I was a kid when I first heard that, and made an impact. So anyways, figure out what method of making money you want to do, your niche. Then you got to build an audience. So it could either be doing email marketing, which I think is the most reliable way to do it. The nice thing about email marketing is you own those leads. And so even like as long as you're making backups of your list, even if you got shut down on like Aweber or GetResponse or somewhere else, you could probably move a lot of those leads over to a different provider. There's going to be someone that will let you import, or at least let you import and do double opt-in. And so they'll send them a confirmation message, and you could still email them and maybe change what you're doing. Maybe I've made that mistake before. I had an account shut down where I was sending like 12 emails a day to a whole lot of people. I was making great money, but it really took people off. Right. You learn your lesson. It was like, I guess I'm kind of a spammer when I do that, but whatever. You learn things over the years. So you build your audience. So it could be, fans on YouTube or friends on Facebook or whatever, and you have this audience. You give them things they want. So the easiest thing is to be an affiliate for something else. The product's already done, the sales copy's done. They have promo tools usually. You just send out stuff for that. And you build a relationship with people. You share your story. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. So, like, for instance, there's going to be people that watch this interview who will resonate with me and be like, oh, that Reed guy seems really cool, laid back, whatever. There's going to be other people that are like, well, I want to work, 120 hours a week, and Reed's an idiot, like, whatever. I'm not going to appeal to that person. Right. But you have to create that. You have to create, you have to polarize your audience. I mean, for instance, like Donald Trump is a master at polarizing. He's got a segment of the population that loves him. Right. Another segment of the population that hates him. And then he's in the news, 100 times a day because he's got, 5% loves him, 5% hates him, and everyone else doesn't care, And so, but we're all talking about him because he's a master, manipulator of the media, if you will. He's got them to self-fund his whole campaign. It's very wonderful marketing strategy. Yes. Regardless of where you
can't deny that.
It's great marketing. It's fun to watch.
Yes.
He's made this election cycle very interesting. And so you have to polarize because people don't buy from those they're lukewarm about. I make more money off those that hate me because they're like, well, I want to bash his product and I hate Reed and I'm going to buy his thing, and like saying nasty things about him. Or in the people who love me and like feel that they're like part of my family, and they are. I treat my best customers like family. I feel that they're customers for life, and we do things. Oftentimes, like if I'm speaking at an event, oftentimes I'll take all the customers that I have, and I might have 20, 30 people that buy. I'll take them all out for lunch or dinner. We'll all go as a group. We'll just take over the restaurant. And we'll all network and have group, conversation, all that kind of thing. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about relationships and family and building that sort of rapport with people. I figure that when you do that, oftentimes those people buy over and over and over again. Another strategy that I've done really well with building that relationship, and I haven't done this in a while, but do like 15-minute one-on-one phone calls with someone.
Wow. So that's a great tip. I'm going to steal that one.
I don't even sell them anything in that call.
Yeah.
I just like, so what, what are you having a problem with about whatever topic they bought the product on? How can I help? I try to share something with them. Yeah. And then, if I have something relevant, like a coaching offer relevant, I'd be like, well, would you like help getting from A to B? On that, would you like someone to help you implement that strategy that we just talked about? And then I'll sell them. But oftentimes I don't even bother, because I know that person's going to buy from me over and over and over again. I have a customer for life. Just by filling 12 minutes with someone, because no one does it.
That's true.
Okay? And so, I have people that come out of the woodwork and be like, hey, are you promoting XYZ product? I'd really like to buy it, but I want to buy it from your link because you spent some time talking to me.
Right.
And it might be like a $1,000 course, $2,000 course, and be like, let me see if I can get an affiliate link for that. I'll sign up and, there's a $1,000 sale right there. And didn't do anything. Yep. And so that happens. So, figure out how you're going to make money, your niche, build that audience, give them what they want, build a relationship with them, and that's how you make money. Then you progress to the next level. You create your own information products. You start speaking at webinars. You start speaking at events. I've gone all over the world speaking at events, and it's all because I created high-ticket information products. If you sell like a $10 product, you're not going to get invited to speak at seminars. But if you have, $500, $1,000, $2,000 course, $5,000 course, you're going to get invited to speak at seminars. Especially if you can close and make sales and make the event promoter money, and you help the audience. Obviously, that's the most important thing. You can do all that kind of stuff. You have good stories to share with them, good strategies to teach. That is what really makes or breaks things. But most people are like, well, I want to create this, $5 product because I'm scared. And another thing, sorry, I'm on a tangent. Another thing, it's like you have this perfectionism complex and like, I got to make things perfect. I took 74 pages of notes at, Chris's event the other weekend. I still haven't proofread that thing. It's like he wants to sell it, so I'll like obviously proofread it then and, make a sales page and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I shared a copy of that with a whole bunch of people, have them look at it. And like a lot of thank you notes on that. And it's like I was just typing that thing as people were on stage and like submitted it like when they got off stage, like it was done by the time they walked off. And so I know I made typos. There's no way that I went, I wrote like 14,000 words. There's obviously a typo or two in there, probably a lot. And it doesn't bother me. A lot of people be like,
that's true.
I got to make it perfect. It's got to be wonderful. And they don't even spend any time like researching the market or what the market wants. And that's why they don't sell. I know people that have spent 5 years like, I'm going to create this perfect thing. It's got to be unique and wonderful. And, they don't do anything. And they don't sell it because it's not what the market wants. Figure out what the market wants, then create the product. Start selling. Like a lot of times I've done things where it's like, well, here's what I'm going to create. And if you want to join me, you can join up. And then like I'll do like a live webinar. Get them to sign up for the product. They'll buy like a $1,000 coaching program. Mm-hmm. We're going to do 8 weeks of blah, 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 blah. I haven't created the content, haven't created whatever. I just have like the basic framework. And then we'll make a whole bunch of sales on the webinar. And we might have 20, 30, 50 people who signed up or something. They buy into that live coaching. Then I create the training. Wow. So I sell it in reverse sometimes.
Right.
And then, so like you talked about how I've had like 11 WSOs of the day. 8 or 9 of those, I think 8. 8 of those actually came from a coaching program of mine. So I pre-sold those people on a coaching program, didn't create the content, created the content, recorded each one was on a different topic. And then I was like, after like a year or so, I could extract those modules and sell those as individual products.
Yep.
And so I took those products as individual modules. It's like, I've got 8 instant products here. So I had 8 #1 bestsellers in a row just off that one idea from a pre-existing home study course that I sold for a lot of money. It's like you can repurpose your content and make more money and bigger business just by making a few tweaks.
Yep. I took that tip from you and I'm using it now. So thank you. Thank you so much. So once again, how can people get in contact with you as far as your business is concerned, as well as this phenomenal product that we're going to have a link on the post as far as the product, ladies and gentlemen, but Reed's going to give you his contact information as far as that's concerned.
Sure. Basically the best way is probably just to look me up on Facebook. You can join my fan page that way. I think my friends list is full. Mm-hmm. I've got Business Success Systems is my company name, so I know we've got a free video we give out there. It's like maybe 60 minutes long or so. It talks about list building and how to make money within 30 days. That's businesssuccesssystems.com. I know it's a lot of S's, kind of confusing. If you have trouble figuring out what it is, just find me on Facebook. I'll send you a link. But yeah, click the link below this video, and you can get the Facebook cheat sheet or whatever you want to send out for. And that I think people should take action there because you can see a lot of my marketing in action there. I think you learn a lot. I personally learn a lot by buying a product and then buying all the things in the funnel. I learn more from that than actually the product itself usually. So that's what I recommend doing. Buy the product. If you think you're interested in the funnel or the products in the funnel, buy everything in the funnel. And you could even record it. Like if you have Camtasia or StreamFlow, just record yourself buying all that stuff. Because then like, here's where Reed talked about this, and here's how he got me to buy this type of thing, and here's the downsell and the upsell, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm modeling that, and I'll do that in my product and make a whole lot more. So that's what I recommend people do. That's a great way to learn a lot about marketing really quickly.
Wow, awesome, Reed. Thank you so much for being on our show today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reed Florin, and give me that site again as far as they can watch a 30-minute video on how to do email marketing. That site again.
That's businesssuccesssystems.com.
Okay, got it. Businesssuccesssystems.com. Go there and check that out because I'm going to tell you from firsthand experience, I am the poster child of what to do wrong first. And I tell you, email marketing is the way to go. I can tell you that now because, like you mentioned, all those other platforms, you'll still be holding to Amazon, you'll still be holding to Facebook, etc. And if they decide to change or flip the script, you still got your list. So that's going to be very paramount. Thank you so much, Reed. I enjoyed your story immensely. We're going to make this a 2-part series.
I know I kind of went out to tangent. So
you gave us tons of content
valuable for you and
for
your
us
customers.
to soak in. And we're going to have you back again. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Okay, everybody, we see you at the top, over the top, and more importantly, we will see you at the bank. Bye-bye now.